If you are an investor in XRP, HBAR XLM, or Ethereum, then you need to be aware that Swift has just announced they are launching their own blockchain network. They, of course, announced this at SIBOS 2025 in Frankfurt, Germany. We're also going to discuss the CFTC, the SEC, and what they are doing to streamline spot ETFs. Don't go anywhere, because if you are an investor, you're going to need to know about this information and how this is going to impact your investments. So hang out as we have this discussion and how this is going to impact you. Okay, before we dive in, go ahead and hit that like button and that subscribe button. Let's check out the first news story, which is this right here. We're going to talk about Cointelegraph announcing that Chainlink, Swift, and other major institutions launched a blockchain solution to address $58 billion in corporate action inefficiencies. So already with SIBOS coming out as of September 29th, you are seeing major news stories. And if you have been following this channel, and especially if you watched this video that I posted yesterday, then you knew this was coming out. And again, when these news stories happens, you always see the impact on the market. That's why you need to follow the right information and get that news source as it is coming out. It gives you time to adjust and plan accordingly, just as these whales do in the market when they manipulate the market. So that is huge news in itself, but let's keep going and talk about Swift and their blockchain ledger. So right over here from Leigh, she is the head of North America Swift, and she states, this came out today, September 29th, that today at SIBOS Frankfurt, Swift announced the launch of the Swift Ledger, a blockchain-based ledger designed with a coalition of financial institutions to enable real-time 24/7 cross-border payments. And anybody that's been speculating with Swift and XRP and Ripple, this is giving you a better idea of what's going on out there, and they're kind of rolling it out in real time to you. And she says, what excites me the most is the focus on interoperability. The industry isn't just moving on a single track. Existing rails, new digital assets, and central bank initiatives will coexist. The ledger is about giving financial institutions the choice and flexibility to navigate the complexity with confidence. So in her link, I clicked onto that link. It takes you to Swift. So Swift right over here, their own announcement coming from the horse's mouth. So it's not just a he said, she said situation. It says that Swift to add blockchain-based ledger to its infrastructure stack and groundbreaking move to accelerate and scale benefits of digital finance across more than 200 countries and territories worldwide. So kind of a quick highlight. Says Swift and a group of more than 30 financial institutions globally will develop a shared digital ledger with institutional focus on real-time 24/7 cross-border payments. Swift will work with Consensus, a conceptual prototype of the ledger, which will leverage Swift's unmatched resiliency, security, and scalability to facilitate transactions using any form of regulated tokenized value. Separately, building on earlier pilots, Swift also will add capability to support interoperability across existing and emerging systems for various use cases. Developments are part of Swift's strategy to power a best-in-class experience through innovation and parallel tracks, upgrading existing rails while creating future digital rails to maximize infrastructure choice for the industry. Essentially, you already knew this was coming. You knew that they were going to be using ISO 20022 for their messaging system, which is, of course, really heavily evolved around blockchain technology. But what's more important is they're using their Consensus. So Consensus is a Ethereum-based project. So this is going to be more of an Ethereum-based blockchain ledger. So what does that mean for XRP? So let me ask you, what do you think that this means for XRP? I keep in mind that Ethereum does not provide the on-demand liquidity that Ripple XRP will provide. So having Ethereum run Swift's messaging system doesn't scare me away from XRP at all. It just shows you how they are further different than the rest of the crypto projects out there. To me, it gives Ripple XRP more validation as to why they're going to be more successful compared to other projects. But you let me know what you think. Okay, so what else is coming up with Swift? I dug in a little deeper. So if you can get access to their system, you can check out what is coming up as far as their updates to their messaging system, their software. If you look at it over here, on October 10th, 2025, they have a planned SECOM standards release 2025. This is essentially going to provide a security update for for Swiss banking, and it's going to integrate the ISO 20022 and all that. So that's giving them an update. And then on October 24th, 2025, we have a 1.38 test. And this is where you're going to start seeing them really testing out the ISO ledger and blockchain and all that. And then right over here, November 8th, you see that 1.38 goes live. And that, of course, is November 8th in 2025. And they're expecting to have everybody switched over to ISO, or at least in that process, by November 24th, 2025. Then you keep on going, you will see that their Alliance Cloud is going to go live out here in January 2026. If you scroll up all the way to the top, you can see they have so much planned going all the way through July 31st of 2027. So this is a massive upgrade that's going to be done over years. And this is one of the reasons why people were saying that you need to understand this crypto project isn't an overnight success story. This is going to be something rolled out from now until 2030 at least. And by 2035, the mass scale adoption really hits place. So if you're wondering when your stuff's going to take off and everybody's trying to hype you and saying it's going to happen tomorrow, really step back and take a look at what's really happening in the market. So if you watch my other video that we were talking about, the Jake Claver thing hitting 750 by end of the year, I hope that you see I was just posing a question to get you thinking, is that possible and what would it take to happen? I'd love to have those kind of conversations down in the comments. It's just fun reading people's theories. And hopefully you're gaining some information from other people that maybe you haven't thought about as a possibility. Again, that's the whole point of this channel. So let's take a look at what that's having to do with the price action. And of course, Swift releasing this information isn't a direct correlation to what the price is doing, but it is also a very interesting timing. Because if you look at Ethereum, it's at $4,167. But if you look right over here at 8 a.m., you see that it was sitting at $4,088. Swift announces that they have this new blockchain release. You see that spike jump all the way up to about, what was it? I think it hit like 4,200 at one point in that short amount of time just after that announcement. So this is one of those things where I say the news stories will scare people in and out of the market. You'll have that FOMO, you'll have that FUD. But if you understand the news stories that just came out, you watch how it impacts that price, you understand that was just people manipulating the market to sell the news and buy the dip. So don't get shaken out when you do see things like that. Okay, so moving on from Swift, we were going to talk about the SEC and the CFTC. So right over here from Eleanor Tourette, she wrote this morning that the SEC has asked issuers of LTC, XRP, SOL, ADA, and DOGE ETFs to withdraw their 19B4 filings following the approval of the generic listing standards, which replaced the need for those filings. I'm told withdrawals could start happening as soon as this week. So essentially the 19B4 filing is obsolete. They have new rules and standards for the SEC and CFTC that will streamline the ETFs and make it more easy for companies to get those approvals from the SEC and the CFTC. Because as you know, if you watched my video from yesterday, that you are having the SEC CFTC roundtable to discuss exactly this. They are trying to knock down barriers and get this product to the market as fast as they can, because it is going to help everybody's economy, not just America's economy. But America wants to be the number one when it comes to crypto. And our administration is not playing around. They are streamlining everything. That's why you're seeing these walls being broken down. You're seeing these ETFs getting put on hold because there's new barriers and new rules and regulations coming out that the old system just doesn't fit anymore. So that's why you kept on seeing the ETFs getting kicked down the road to October, is because they needed to have these plans in place. So also, let's take a look and see if we're happening to see this in real time. So right over here on the SEC's website, you will see as of 9/29/25, you have 21 shares filing their Solana ETF. This is the S1A, which is one of the filings you need for the ETFs, right? But what this really is, when you open it up, you break it down, and you're more than welcome to read through it. I will absolutely post this, and I highly encourage you to do your research on it, but it is quite a read. This is essentially an agreement between Coinbase and 21 Shares that 21 Shares will buy their assets from Coinbase for their ETFs. So that's huge in itself. We are now getting somebody like 21 Shares working with Coinbase to get these ETFs pushed and going forward. So they are setting the stage to launch these ETFs. It just hit a curveball in the middle of this year that made our rules and regulations obsolete, and they had to put some new ones in place in a very fast manner. So if you're wondering what's happened to ETFs, you're wondering why XRP isn't going anywhere, or any of your other projects, understand you're so early. You're watching things unfold in real time. If you are watching what the movers and shakers are doing, you can follow along before everybody else. Because I guarantee after this video, you're going to start hearing a bunch of hype videos from other content creators and telling you, this is going to whatever price, this is going to whatever price, buy now, and all this stuff. But understand that crypto's here to stay. It's coming. And if you're here, you're buying, you're super early, and you have a very unique opportunity. So don't squander it. Educate yourself and truly understand the impact your investments are going to have 5 years, 10 years down the road. That's all I have for you on this episode. But as always, take care of yourself, take care of the people around you, become the change you want to see. Until then, guys, I will see you on the next one.